Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about best tool for the job, disassembly mat / tray. Now you can see I obviously have two out here, and there's obviously a lot of options out there. You have trays like this, smaller size ones. You have ones made out of metal. You have ones made out of wood. You have handmade ones. You have all types of shit, right? You have larger ones like this that are made out of leather, big mats. Same thing, made out of wood, whatever you want, rubber. You have just the cheap silicone ones that roll out and have the little trays or whatever. But there's, big differences between all of that stuff. You also have stuff like the NAFSCO burrito here. I don't know if they call it the knife burrito, something like that. Tool burrito. And this one's cool in the sense that you can take it with you, kind of. And when you have it open, this kind of serves as a mat for you. It has magnets. So in the corners here are magnets. So if you've taken a knife apart, you can drop some screws there and keep track of everything. If it's got steel screws, obviously. And then... So this is more of a travel one in my opinion, but you could get away with using this as your main mat, right? But everything's kind of magnetic. It's nice, right? I like it. I haven't had to use it yet because I got it in the last month or two and I haven't taken a trip. I plan to take this to blade shows when we go. But those are some of your options, right? So real quick, this one here I got from Lancelot Leather. I just want to give him a shout out here in this video. We sort of designed this together. He's done a bunch of these now for different channels and just different people, different versions of just a basic mat with no pockets, just smaller ones, big, whatever, right? But I thought this design came out really well. We had the idea to kind of have a workspace and then have a spot here to put like scales and a blade, and then up here for hardware, you could have your beer here, whatever. I did initially think the whole thing would be kind of down a little bit so nothing could roll this way. As you can see, there's no lip here. There was one downside to this design that I didn't realize when we drew it up and talked about it. I thought everything would be down into this pocket right here. But anyway, this is awesome. The issue with something like this is the price point. When I got this is the very first one that he did. It was like $180, I think I paid $200, something like that. And I'm pretty sure that was a healthy discount. He found out after that from doing it that it cost him a lot more to make these. And then now with inflation and everything going on, I could see this exact mat being over $300, easy. So it is very nice. I mean, you can see it's made with full grain or whatever you call it, high grain leather. I've beat the ever-loving piss out of it, and I've put a little bit of like wax into it and stuff over the basically 2 years now. I've had it, year and a half. But I haven't really taken great care of it. And I haven't used it much in the last 6 to 8 months. But it's taken abuse, but it's held up extremely well. That stitching is extremely well done. You can see the quality here. It has the Lancelot Leather logo right there on the back. So shout out to Joe. Excellent, excellent work. But for the price point, the size, all of those factors, that one's not the best tool for the job for me, right? It just means, is it my favorite tray? And this right here is my favorite tray that I've tried. Now, I do actually have a new one coming that is a bit larger. So I'm working with them over there at Tinkerforce. So this comes from Tinkerforce. You can check out their website. It's linked down below. I don't have a coupon or affiliate or anything, but I really like their product. I forget how I first found out about them, but I think they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out one of their trays. And thank goodness I said yes, because this is an amazing product. And there's a lot more to it than what I'm going to be able to show you, because I just have put away a lot of the pieces that I don't personally use, but they're very useful. So these can be used as valet trays or disassembly mats. Now, obviously, I use it as a disassembly mat, but just for reference real quick, you can get different accessories like this. And let me start by saying this tray by itself, this is the large tray. This is $21. So I just want to get that out of the way. $21. That's it. And what it is 3D printed, but it is thick. Like, it is not some piece of, like, shit. It's extremely hard. It feels like way more than 3D printed. These have to take, like, days to print. I don't know. He must have multiple 3D printers going all at once constantly to be doing this. But anyway, they make the trays. They're 3D printed. And then they actually cut cork out, and I guess they glue it in, place it in. I don't know how they do it, but it has never come out of there. I've never had an issue with it. Yeah, seriously, I've beat the shit out of this cork. This thing has taken some abuse, guys, and it's fun. I mean, you've seen it, right? You've seen me probably use this more than anything. It's excellent. And then they have these little feet, plastic little feet they put on there. $21. So then if you want to get some accessory, these are like $5 a piece, something like that. And they pop into the slots or the cutouts, and you can have one here that you could have holding like KPL. You could put your bit driver in here. I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? It's up to you how you want to do it. I currently actually use it separately. Sits on my desk, and it holds my sweet tea chapstick, and it holds some alcohol wipes. And you put that here, boom. He has other ones that are smaller. They're like this tall. And they have literal circle cutouts that are the size of a KPL bottle. And you can get one that holds 2 of those and then has a row that holds like 8 or 10 bits. So you can have a stack of your bits lined up in there, and it holds them in place. They're not magnetic, but I mean, they're deep, so it holds it. They also have ones that just hold bits, I think. They have one that's really cool. It has a slot for a KPL bottle. Then it has a circle that actually has a 1/4 inch slot in it. So much like this, where I can pop this on there and it holds my driver up. He has that where it'll literally pop into a 1/4 inch slot that'll pop in here, and it'll hold your driver. So you can have your driver, a KPL bottle, and then you can have like 10 bits. I mean, it's freaking awesome. And then he has ones that are just dishes, right? It doesn't have any kind of bit storage, anything like it's just a dish you can toss in your spare parts or whatever. Now, I don't use any of them because I found that I honestly don't need it. So let's say I'm taking apart a knife or something, right? Like here's a Divo knives, Growler. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive version. And I have this one right here. So let's say I want to take this bad boy apart. I'm going to go ahead and grab a T8. Sorry, I got everything combobulated here. I like order, baby. T8. Yep, T8. And then I'm going to go, okay, let me take out my screw here. I want to take this bad boy apart. And what I'll do is I'll just take all my screws out. And because this is a lip right here, I can just toss them in. I don't need an extra thing to hold it. You can do that, and then you can transport them or put liquid in there if you want to put alcohol in there to rinse them. Can't do that with the cork. But I have enough space here, so what I'll do is I'll put like the pivot here, the next screw here, the next screw, whatever. You can line it up however you like. So it works really well for disassemblies, in my opinion, the way it is. Now, one of the downsides is the size. So if I show you, I'll actually just take this one apart. So if you look, you can see pivot screw, body screw, right? So I can put this one here. I don't always do it this way because I know already that these screws are identical. So I don't really need to separate them, but just for reference sake here. So then you have pivot screw right here. Oops. Take that out. I'll put that here. So now I know that that goes there. Pop this off. Take this out. Take it all apart, right? Knife falls apart, essentially. Got my pivot. Put that over here with that. Keep that together. Then I have my bearings and my stop pin and everything. I'll put that over there. Backspacer can go there as well. $10 says I forget the backspacer. Come on. There's the bearing. And here you go. The knife is apart. So now I have it all organized, easy peasy, right? And I almost put that away, idiot. So that's one thing I love about it. It's just simple. It works. Now, the one downside I have is this is the large tray, and it's not that large. So I have issues sometimes, and obviously I've worked around this, and it's not that big of a deal. By the way, if you're interested, the Growler dropped. It should have already dropped by the time this video is out, so hopefully they're landing by now. But yeah, this is how you take a knife apart. It's pretty simple. It does have a little captive. There's a little steel plate in here that is how we made the pivot captive. There's a little cutout here. I'll show you. There's a little cutout right there, and that lines up with that. Now, you just need to be careful if you take this actual liner out, which you can do if you remove the barrels and you remove the clip. That whole liner will come out. That steel plate right there is actually loose in there. It's obviously held in now by the liner, and there's a cutout into the scale. But it was something we added in the middle of production. It was very interesting how they pivoted, because I got prototypes to test something else, right? I was looking at the contoured edges, and I think it was the reversible clip, because the original prototype, they didn't do the filler tab like we asked. So I got that prototype, and I realized it didn't have a captive pivot. It looked like one. They had this cutout on it, but it didn't have one. So then they sent me another prototype that had a notch just like this cut into the scale, but it was made out of it was the micarta. And what I found testing that was the micarta would actually chip off when you were taking the knife apart or whatever. Unless you were super delicate, which I struggled with it, you would chip the micarta off, and then it would turn into a spinning pivot again, which is an absolute nightmare if you have a non-tooled side. So in the middle of production, they kind of pivoted, and they added this steel plate, which I thought was pretty unique. Was pretty good on them to figure that out and not have to redo everything. And as long as it works, it's fine with me, right? And it does work. That pops right in there, and that plate holds it in place, so it doesn't move past that point right there. It gets a little bit of movement, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't give it enough movement to be an issue. So anyway, the issue I have with the way this is set up is, and I'll just do what I would normally do here. And just FYI on the Growler again, skiff bearings will not fit the Growler. So I'm working on that with skiff, actually. So they may come out with ones that fit, but for now they don't fit. So you do need to use the stock bearing. So I'm just going to clean these off. Might as well clean the knife and do everything while we're here. I'll show you what I love about the tray. Or just how I use it, I guess. I don't know. So, there we go. And just grab some lube. So, the downside I have to the tray is the size. But, cool thing is, I'm working with them on a larger one right now. So, they're finishing up a prototype of it, and I believe it's being sent my way. So you'll see what I mean in a second. When I go to reassemble this, I have to kind of maneuver everything. And it's kind of hard when you have such limited space. Now, it's not that small that it's like a huge deal, but sometimes I, almost bang the blade into up here, or, knock things around a little bit. And let's pop that on. And I got to slide this out of the way to get this on. Depending on the size of the knife, you'll see now I'm hitting this pocket, and I got to back this off. Sometimes I'll be doing this, and I'll hit into this if it's a larger knife. So, it can just be a little bit of a pain, or a little bit of just, you got to pay attention. I shouldn't say a pain. It's not like an actual big deal. But we are working on one that is both wider and deeper this way, or taller this way. And that should be perfect. But it's not any taller from the table up, which is important because it fits in some nice areas, being only like half an inch tall or whatever it is. So let me just push that forward. Oh, put a little bit of KPL heavy right here. The detent track might be too much. There we go. Set these aside. Pop that on. So in this knife, I like to pop that one on and then kind of work this. And I shifted everything on accident there. See if I can, get it to pop in. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And then what I'll do is pop this guy in. Line this up. Try not to knock the pivot. If you push the pivot out of the captive zone, then it obviously won't work the way you want it to. But there we go. Try to keep this squeezed down. Pop that dead centered. Take my screw right here. Once I get this one in, then I can let go pressure. But right now I have everything kind of compressed. And I don't want to let go because that might shift the centering or mess with the action. Who knows? But anyway, just get this guy here. Tighten this up. There we go. Centered. Pops. No play. Let's see. And there we go. So that is obviously a disassembly of the Growler. So we knocked 2 birds out here with 1 stone. But anyway, you can see there some of my gripes are when you're putting a knife together, you have 2 scales and you have you might have 1 scale down here and you have the other one up here trying to put the blade in, and then it's too high here. So it'd be nice to just have room for all of that, right, to work. And then on the new design, or the larger design, I should say, and I don't know if they'll call it XL or whatever, these 2 pockets are combined. So you have 1 larger pocket here and then 2 on the side. And obviously they're bigger because the whole thing is bigger. So my thinking was you could take the blade and just place that in there. You could take a scale, place it in there, whatever. And then you just have these pockets for hardware, or you can spread it out, whatever you want to do. But I absolutely love the Tinker Force tray. I think it's obviously and clearly the best bang for buck tray you can get. But when it comes to a disassembly tray, I don't need it to be bougie. I don't need a Damascus tray. They have ones made out of aluminum. That's awesome. Even Tinker Force makes a version of their small one, I think, in aluminum, which is cool. But it's too small for my purposes. I would want, the large one. But I don't need that. The 3D print looks good. I like the white with the cork. You can get it in black. You can get it in blue, red, green, neon. You can get it in like so many colors because it's just filament that they use, right? So I guess long story short, and it's not like something crazy we need to get into on disassembly mats, but I recommend Tinker Force. I think if you don't have one, it's a great first option as well because you're spending $21 to try it out or whatever. It's not going to break the bank or anything. And then if you like it, you can add some accessories or get a whatever. I don't know. And then they have bigger one. They have ones similar to this that are made out of wood, like Asphalt Trays makes really cool ones. They're not super pricey. They're like $80, something like that, I think. Journey Tool Co. used to make really cool ones. I've seen other ones out there. So I think Renegade Provisions Co. maybe makes a tray. So you could get this and kind of see what you think. Is it worth it? Maybe, you're an OG guy. Like I used to just do disassembly right on the, I just do it right on the desk and hope my stuff doesn't roll everywhere. And that was that, right? It's not the end of the world. Or some people will just take a towel and lay it down, right? You just take your towel, lay it down. Now stuff can't really roll anywhere and you're good to go. But if you want to kind of upgrade from the intro version, this is kind of like your step up from the Blade HQ silicone mat that you might have, right? Or your gun cleaning mat that you might have. I don't know. So that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. You don't have to get one of these. I'm just telling you my thoughts. I think it's the best option. And even if I had an unlimited budget for this, it doesn't matter. I still prefer this tray. And part of that is the cork. The cork is like this really nice material. It has to be cheap, right? But it feels really good. It's soft, yet it's got like a little bit of a rubbery to it. You know what it feels like? Cork. No, it feels like that stuff. You ever been to a playground with your kid, or when you were a kid, I guess, where instead of wood chips, they have that like fake rubber stuff? It's like cut up rubber all like glued together. I don't know how to explain it. That's kind of what this feels like. And it's great. It's really soft on your knives. It doesn't cause issues. The only downside to it is it's hard to see bearings because brass, bronze, phosphor bronze, they blend in with this so easily. I'm always like, where the hell is that? That's the only downside to the cork. But otherwise, I love it. And it's durable as hell, guys. I mean, how long have I had this? Over a year, and I'm sure I've stabbed it, and I've, gouged it and done all types of stuff to it, and it just keeps coming back for more. So there you go. That is my best tool for the job, and that is the disassembly mat. Shout out to Tinkerforce. Go check them out. Link down below. Again, not affiliated. Don't have a code. I just love their products. And you know what? The people behind it are also really, really good people. I've had nothing but amazing interactions with them. And the cool thing is, they also do some charity work. Like they did a run of Smooth Precision pens, the tie scribe that they had sort of, I think it's like engraved with a Ukrainian flag, and they were selling those to help send some money over to, I don't know, it was some kind of charity for, the Ukraine. So they're also just good people. So check out Tinkerforce. They sell other stuff too. They don't just sell knife stuff. They have all types of 3D printed cool stuff. So household stuff and whatnot. So thank you to them for just being awesome. They did donate this tray back when I got it, and then they gave me another set to give away to people, which was awesome. Somebody won that. I think it was, I don't know why, but I think it was Stacy who won that. Shout out to her. And I'm excited to try this new version of it, the larger one. I've always wanted that. And yeah, so I'm going to shut up now. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.